I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, because we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks.
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Good morning, Jim White, brother Dave White, Super Dave Weldon, and myself. The band is back together.
Hi, everybody.
Morning, everybody. Missed y'all.
Yep.
Good morning, JFW.
Today's an interesting day. Not only are we recording episode 237, we are recording in the new podcast studio at Yard 23.
Nice.
In the heat of the situation.
It's a little hot in here. Yes. It's a little hot.
No doubt our voices sound different. I was telling Oz and Tracy on Saturday that they sound different in that room on the radio. Tracy's voice doesn't sound near as deep as it did before, but I mean, different acoustics, I guess.
That's true, Dave, because I heard him on there the other day and I'm like, is that Tracy? But I bet that's the difference, the room and,
Yep.
and
Gotcha.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, because I know with the other yard, the conference room upstairs, now it's all echoey and weird.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got to shout out to Erica, too. She's doing a great job on the walls. I mean, you should have a look at the driver's room. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's great.
outstanding.
Yes.
That is
And
great.
that room took some tough use.
Oh,
It's nice to have Brother Dave back in the studio. It's probably been over a month, I would say.
Yeah.
5 weeks, probably 6 weeks.
Oh, no, I haven't counted.
Yeah. Well, here you are.
It seems like a lot, but it went by really fast.
Sure has. Yep.
Yeah.
Brother Dave, since you're here, you want to kick off the Pledge of Allegiance?
I would love to.
Let's do it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get into our truck of prayer, we just want to recognize Fish, or Mike Weichbrodt. We hope that he rests in peace and light, and we'll be praying for him and his family.
Yeah, Jim, I know I missed last week, and that was I think the Friday before last week is when he passed.
Right.
And I think it took us all by surprise, but it's a loss.
Right.
You know, I wish I had a little more information, how long he'd been with us and, you know, stuff like that. We're all busy doing our stuff and life's just going to keep going and Fish isn't part of that anymore. You know,
Right.
Mike's not here. So
And he was a big part of it. I mean,
He-
20-year guy.
yeah.
20 years, but he had 2 stints other than this one. So he quit twice, came back. But altogether, I think he's a 25-year guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been through a lot, or was through a lot with
Yep.
us. You know what I mean? I mean, there's great stories, helpful. You know, we got into Wheeling the last 5 years or so, maybe 6 years, whatever. And
Yep.
man, that was truly his wheelhouse, not to,
That's his passion.
yeah,
It
not
was.
to have a pun. And I know one time Erica went with us and she had that new Jeep and Mike just stopped us all because Erica just wasn't doing it the right way, the safe way. And he took the time, kind of ripped on her a little bit about this is needs to be done safely. It needs to be done this way. You'll tear your stuff up. And yeah, you could truly see his passion.
He was the boss.
He was the boss. And
I tell you,
we all listened to him. It was,
it
was fun.
I got a funny story. The first time I met him, he was driving for Pioneer, coming back from Montrose with his wood chip wagon, you know, the big tall wagons that they all trash in. And I'm coming back from somewhere in the mountains, and this guy hooked up to me, and he was talking in his really high voice. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And he wouldn't leave me alone. And then the next day we were together again. It was just the timing was work out. And the next day, so I just started talking to the guy, and Next thing I knew, he put in an application, and the rest is history.
Yep. I know I said Fish. Some of you may know him as Stingray or Mike. Yeah. I did have the pleasure of going to Moab with him, and that was a great experience. So rest in peace, Stingray.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to miss you, buddy.
Yep. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for this day and the work in front of us. Watch over our drivers, our fleet, and every family connected to us. Keep us mindful, patient, and steady in every decision we make on the road. If it's your will, keep us safe from accidents and harm, and bring us home to our families at the end of the day. Be with those who are sick. Bring healing, strength, and peace. No matter what comes, teach us to trust you in all things. We give you the glory, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything you hear on today's show is not the opinion of JFW's. It's just some men in this room's expressed opinion. The podcast stats are skewed just a little bit because it's 2 weeks worth of stats. Episode 236 had 294 downloads. We're at 119.1 thousand total downloads and have 1,014 followers.
Wow, awesome.
Let's get it.
It looks better when you skip a week.
Yeah, no doubt.
The anticipation builds.
Right? Do you guys know why spiders don't go to school? I don't know if we've done this.
They do everything on the web.
They learn it all on the web.
Wow, I was kind of close.
You hit it. You got it. That's good enough for me, bud.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the actor who fell through the floorboards?
You break a leg?
He was just going through a stage.
Ah.
That's my 10-second find a dad joke. And I was like, I don't think we've done that one.
Well, I spent 2 weeks finding mine, so you did a good job.
Oh.
Soup?
Well, I got some moving puns here.
Oh, moving.
Yes.
Not like a cow. Moo.
Yeah, no, like moving, because everybody's going to be moving here. So moving day, you guys, the only day that you find out how many things you don't need but keep anyway. That's for you, Brother Dave.
Yeah.
And why did the calendar look so stressed? Well, because it had too many moving deadlines.
Ah.
And that's something we've got right now, right?
Yeah.
And then did you know 35 million Americans move every year? Man, that's a lot of boxes. And it's like a never-ending game of Tetris.
Yes.
Isn't that the truth?
Sure enough.
Do you guys know what happened when 2 slices of bread went on a date?
Oh, somebody got bread? I don't know.
It was loaf at first sight.
Ah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the other one I have, why do crabs never volunteer?
They can't raise their claw.
No, because
in a pinch?
those are all good ones,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Because they're shellfish.
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 Yeah. I'm
So
shellfish.
they're not. They're crustaceans.
All right, new employees. We got Earl Spears, Jose Carrillo, Deborah Guerra, Alejandro Rico, Carlos Pacheco, and Justin Hutzel. Welcome to the fleet.
Yeah,
everyone.
welcome everybody.
Yes,
I know
everybody.
I met Deborah yesterday, and I met Carlos yesterday, and I think Carlos jumped in a truck yesterday and not even finished training and shadowed, went and hooked up a trailer with Don. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks you guys. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we are excited that you're here.
Welcome to the family, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anniversaries. Dwayne Sand hit 10 years on Sunday the 5th.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Thank you, Dwayne, for your dedication, buddy.
And Troy Holmes, 5 years on the 13th.
Wow. Very cool.
Equally as good.
Congratulations, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to get into birthdays, but we had an actual birthday. Congrats to Andre and Alexis, and welcome Adonis Gordon into this world. He was born yesterday.
I wasn't born yesterday.
No, but Adonis was.
That's a good one.
I don't have his stats, but he's a good, healthy baby.
Congratulations,
Yep.
Andre. Yep, Hannah. Yep.
Some of these birthdays are a little bit older, but Ryan Kelch, he had a birthday July 5th. Francisco Alvarez had a birthday July 6th. And of course, in her usual fashion, Brenda has a happy birthday message.
Hi, Brenda.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to reach out because Francisco's birthday is coming up on 7/6. Just wanted to tell him last month we celebrated our anniversary of being married 13 years, and now we're going to be celebrating your birthday. Woohoo. From our kids and I, happy birthday. I know you don't like your birthday much, but the kids and I love being able to celebrate you every passing year. I'm so thankful to be here with you, celebrating another one of your birthdays together. I pray God continues to bless you with so many more, and may they be filled with endless joy, love, health, wealth, and happiness. I love you. We love you. Cheers to this birthday and many, many more. Brenda and the kids.
That's outstanding.
That is.
That is.
Just
Brenda needs to start a card company.
right.
She will pay, what's that famous card company?
Hallmark.
She'll put Hallmark right out of business.
Yeah. For me, Jam, I was just thinking as you read that, all the stuff we're doing here and all the stuff JFW tries to do, so much of what we do here is about communication.
Right.
And it just drives me crazy. People don't have their radios on, all the things that go along with that. But when you have a significant other and like Brenda, she's communicating here.
Very well.
Very well. And if Francisco doesn't know how she feels about him, he's missing the boat. What a great.
How can he not?
Right. But how, in some relationships, how do you know, Dave? It's like not saying stuff around here. How do you know?
Yeah.
And are you listening is my point. So, man, great job, Brenda.
All the drivers or anyone here at JFW could go home tonight and just play this portion of the podcast to their spouse and be like, what are you doing?
I just think it's so truly beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So kind that she takes the time to do this and prove how much her love for him that she has.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you hear, kind of growing up in this industry, obviously, when we were kids, you'd hear somebody be like, oh, my old lady this, or,
right.
and most times when people talk about their significant other, it's not in a positive fashion.
Complaint.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
and it's so refreshing to have this. It's
Yeah.
just so nice, and I hope maybe it incentivizes some people to stop and think like, wow, maybe I should do that too.
It could be all smoke and mirrors. She might beat Cisco.
The thing about this too, though, Dave, I mean, she found an avenue. I was just thinking, stop and buy a card, but I picked some cards up that I'm like, I'm just not paying $10 for or $5 for.
Right.
They're expensive,
Right.
but here's a free outlet,
Yeah.
to
Good point.
celebrate her husband, and great way to do it. Or just, just a piece of paper and you handwrite something.
Yeah.
And leave a note.
That's always nice.
I know Holly leaves lots of notes for me on the coffee pot or my company radio.
Take the garbage out.
Some are kind. Some are like, will you please remember this? Right. Those are very helpful in a lot of situations.
Well, not to forget about our other birthday celebrations.
Yep.
We don't have such kind words as Brenda does, but happy birthday to Felix Gallardo. He had a birthday on the 8th. Eddie Dominguez had a birthday on the 9th. Jose Castellanos had a birthday on the 13th. Angel Sandoval had a birthday on the 14th. Ricardo Cordova on the 15th. And Elvin Spates, he has a birthday tomorrow. So Ricardo's today, Elvin's tomorrow. We hit a birthday every day this week.
Yeah, that's
cool.
There was some stuff going on 9 months ago.
Well,
or maybe 35 years in 9 months.
Right, exactly. Family birthday celebrations. Mike Bort's wife, Chris, had a birthday on the 1st. Fabian Sotelo's son, Fabian, had a birthday on the 6th. Garrett Spiker's significant other, Gianna, had a birthday on the 7th. Miguel Rojas his son Maximilian had a birthday on the 10th. Jovan Rizzo's wife, Alexandra, had a birthday on the 14th. Robert Lincoln's significant other, Lena, she has a birthday coming up tomorrow. Matt Gell Sr.'s significant other, Brigina, has a birthday on the 17th. And Olga Valdovinos, either her son or daughter, it's not listed, Denai, has a birthday on the 17th as well.
Yeah, awesome. Happy birthday, family members.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of birthdays and celebrations there. Shout outs. I actually want to give a shout out to Bear. We had a little mishap over at Central last week, and he was boots on the ground for me, sent me some good photos, and saved me a trip out there, saved me a bunch of time. So I appreciate you, Bear. Linda also wants to give a shout out to Bear. Wow, Bear's taking over this podcast between birthdays and shout outs. Linda says, thank you, Bear, for being our guinea pig on the first load out to Craig in 6 years. There have been changes. Cannot be on site until 6:30, loading at 7 and more. Details as he goes through the process. Yeah, so yeah, the last time he ran Craig was a long time ago. I was getting some information. I actually called Alan Wobbs to get some info about load times and stuff like that. And the last time we ran it, we could still be up there at 5, and now that's 7, I believe.
But a whole new company owns it, right, Jam?
Oh,
runs it.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Got it. Yeah. Not sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they even have ash anymore.
I know.
Like
they shut down the coal plant.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah, like the plant's even running.
I mean, if it wasn't for Trump, they'd have the one shut down.
Right.
So,
Eric Eichner wants to give a shout out to Mike Bortz. He says, hi, I want to shout out to Mike 0024 for showing me the procedures at CMEX last week. Mike's always good like that. He's got a trainer's heart, heart of a teacher, and he likes helping people out.
He does. I mean, I have other shout outs, but shout out to Mike because I like when he takes a few minutes and brings his trainee over, the new person. And that's how I met Deborah. We joked and had a quick conversation last night. And it's always nice to have an introduction or meet them and for them to know who we are. And I joked with Mike because he immediately introduced me as the older brother.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, dude, that hurts, And then, because then I seen his wife's birthday on there, and I went to school with his wife.
Oh, okay.
Too. And yeah, it's just a small world, but yeah, good people. We have a lot of good stuff going on. And then, I know we shouted out to Barry. You say he's taken over, but when we started to run over to Craig, I sent the Bulker division a quick connect, like, hey, please be careful, all this stuff. And I wrote in there, watch for deer. And I was going to put bear.
Oh, yeah.
And I skipped and I said other stuff. And then I caught him at the fuel island and I said, Bear, did you see I skipped, watch out for deers and bear, but I put other stuff? And he goes, I did see that. So yeah, thanks, Bear, for, taking care of that. And I know it's some early mornings and, you got to be careful. And Jam, you ran that for 2 years?
Yeah, I don't think it was quite 2 years, but I ran it a lot, and I ran it a lot in the snow.
Yeah.
I ran it in the winter, which
but it's a beautiful ride, but it's also a hell of a ride too.
It's it'll take it out of you.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, your body's vibrating for sure.
You're done.
You want out of that truck.
Yeah, everybody's killing it. So yeah, thank you.
So did you have a shout out? Did you want to give a shout out to, what was it, Angel?
Well, I had mentioned a couple before we started recording, Angel and Jose, for chipping the SMA asphalt out of their beds that we soaked and let it sit overnight. And I just thought we were going to have to take torches to it or something to heat it up. But they did a marvelous job and we're ready to go for Monday morning.
Sweet.
So shout out to you guys for working so hard a couple Saturdays ago. And then also shout out to Erica. She is doing a magnificent job fixing the drywall and painting and texturing. And I asked her, I said, not just spackle, did you have texture to put on the walls? And she's like, no, I'm just using spackle in your, I had lent her a spackling spatula or whatever you call it,
Yeah, no.
And she's got a technique. I'm telling you what, it looks freaking good. And I said, I didn't know you were a professional. And she smiled and said, I have many talents. Dave. So she's really making that place. And I mean, it's had a lot of years of a lot of people and drivers and
tears,
refrigerators scraping the walls, moving in and out. And so she's really making it look nice.
Yeah, not to interrupt the shout outs, but 26 years in that building.
A lot of people, Jim, are asking when we moved in, and I can't remember. Was it 26 years? Huh?
Yeah, 2000. I mean, 99, 2000, right through there. I know we were kind of in there. We had to wreck the building, and then all of a sudden we were in there. It was just kind of all molded together, kind of like here,
right?
Where we've soft moved in, and pretty soon we'll all be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm jumping the gun. I'm not sure if it's in our discussion topics, but I'm getting a lot of questions at the other yard. When are the trucks moving over here? Today. And I'm like, I have no idea. Obviously, it's got to coincide with the mechanics, right?
Are we moving today?
You're gonna
we
freak some
we
people
open?
out, but yeah, we'll move today.
I'll have to check with Steve Alboni. See
Tell
if that's
Mikey
okay.
that. He'll keel over.
Yeah. Yeah. And one more shout out, just going to be a general one from me. You know, everybody's taken on the fuel island and stuff, been trying to help out and figure things out, but everybody's been doing a great job, and we'll have a lot of details. Please just try to pay attention. You know, you know, I might say good morning in the morning and maybe I don't need to be paid attention to, but other announcements, you know, if me and Dave say something, it's usually pretty important. So try to pay attention. You know, when we're on the radio, we're trying to give some details that'll help it out. And I'm same with dispatch, you know, same with other drivers. That company radio is the Bible when it comes to trying to communicate. You know, it's got all the commandments coming across that radio. So yeah, thanks everybody for the great job and being patient and working with us.
Nice. Any other shout outs, guys?
Yeah, I got a couple shout outs here for Ken and Scooby, just helping create things over here at Yard 23. I mean, nothing comes easy, and I don't think a lot of people realize what it has taken to get to this point. And any chance those two have to jump in, and I you know, not to diss anything from Ken whatsoever, but like Scooby's pickup is like a tool shed. You know what I mean? You need anything, he's got it. You know, and if he doesn't have it, like the next day he went and got it. You know, it's just crazy. And I guess just zero complaints. It's 100 degrees out there. You're in the sun all day, and we just drink a ton of water and Gatorade and have a blast. You know, I mean, it's just been a lot of fun, and you know, building things and making these things and creating these things and just getting it done is just, it's been a joy, you know, working with those two guys. So yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Great shout out.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's move on to the meat and potatoes of the discussion topics. Number one, when you are coming or leaving this yard out on 52nd, that railroad track has one of their rails has popped up a little bit. We just want to try to avoid that to avoid damaging a tire. So go slow, move over a little bit. And then once you come up Forest Street, our gate is blocked off on one side. I don't imagine it's going to be like that for much longer.
We'll got to let the concrete finish hardening.
A couple more days.
Yeah, I think
at the end of the week.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that side, Dave. It happened so fast. I couldn't tell you.
I feel like they did it on Monday, but I'm probably wrong.
I'm pretty sure it was last Thursday. So
probably pretty hard.
So yeah, Friday we can open that.
Yep. But until Friday, it's one lane in, one lane out. I heard Linda call it zipper in and zipper out. One comes out, one goes in. Just be respectful. Don't get in a rush. Next on the topic list, over here at Yard 23, please park your personal vehicle as far back in its spot so we can grade the recycled asphalt to make a better place for you. Also, mainly to protect your vehicle from being hit. The further back it is, the safer it is. So yeah, when you guys are parking for the day, don't keep your car, pulled all the way up where your tractor would be, or even where your fifth wheel would be. Back it all the way up to the curb. Get it out of the way onto that concrete slab. Cool.
I'd like to kind of tag on that first one as far as going slow over the railroad tracks. Can we just drive slow and slow down in the yards? Once you're inside the yard or maybe even coming down Forest Street, be aware that there's people walking around. There's workers that are concentrating on what they're doing. They're not really watching well enough, but we used to run an exercise in the yard and it was during our morning safety meetings, which this podcast takes the place of, but we would line everybody up in one long line. And then we would have Bill Spano, one of our safety directors at the time, drive right down the row of people standing on the ground, first at 5 miles an hour, and then again at 10 miles an hour. And oh my God, literally everybody stepped back because it was so much faster.
Yeah.
And when you're in the cab of that truck and you're 6 feet up above the ground, you just don't realize the difference of when you're in the cab or when you're standing on the ground. So please be aware, everybody. Let's just go slow when we're in the yard and driving down the driveway and negotiating fuel lines and parking spaces and moving cars and walking people. There's just so much going on. Please.
It's very true, Super Dave. And I know we mentioned the 5, the 10 mile an hour, the 7, the 3, whatever. You guys know a good speed. It doesn't have to be like if we say 5 mile an hour, I feel we got some guys that hold their truck right at 5 miles an hour. That's what they told me. Just do a respectable speed. Just do a safe speed. You guys should be able to, understand what that is. We, got some guys that are going really, really slow, which seems to be, extraordinary painful. Then we got the guys going really, really fast. Just pick a good safe speed. Just ease. You don't have to make the truck get 2 gears. All that kind of stuff, right? Super Dave, just ease in and out. Pay attention.
Yeah.
And it should be fluid.
Yep. I do mention this in the test drives. The automatics, they tend to shift, and they
go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the next thing you know, you're not going 3 miles an hour, you're going 9.
Yeah.
In the old days, you just keep it in, let's say, first or second gear, and you'd idle that truck along, and you never did increase speed. So be aware of that that transmission is going to shift on you. So you got to pull your foot out of it a little bit to prevent that.
Yeah. We can, pay attention to the direction the traffic's going. It might be down here farther on there, but as we get into the building, it would be farther. It would be better if you're leaving, because how the fuel island's designed is how we're learning that you go out to the north and come around on the west side past the scale, even in your personal vehicle, instead of trying to make that corner around the building when everybody's coming in fueling. You don't have to crowd through there in your personal vehicle. Go out and around, and just kind of the situational awareness. Look what's the easiest way to avoid other trucks. It's just not about you and how fast you can leave, or, pulling right up and trying to get to the mailbox or the ticket box or stuff like that. I had a nice conversation with 2 of the drivers that parked right in the way, and I'm just waiting for somebody to get hit. And then there'll be all this anger, and everybody will be upset and having to fix it and all that stuff, when just don't set yourself up to be hit. It's the easiest thing to do.
I mean, every single thing is based on situational awareness.
Yeah.
Your speed, where you drive, how you park, everything we've talked about for the last 10 minutes just now, it's all situational awareness. And it just is what it is.
Even Brenda's note, situational awareness.
Mm-hmm.
What situation is she in?
Situation of anniversaries and birthdays.
She's in love. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the situation for the moment,
All right, Jim, this one is yours.
Yeah, leaving with things wrong with the truck. Hey, you guys, I know it's a hassle and we're busy and all that other stuff, but please don't leave the yard with things wrong with your trucks. There's a few things we allow you to leave with it being wrong. We fight, and it seems much better, but for example, we fight with the taillights being out on the back of the tractors. If you have a trailer, it's okay to leave with them, but somebody needs to recognize that they're not working. They need to be written up. You need to say something about them. We have guys leaving with lights out on the trailer
That have taken a picture of it on their pre-trip.
Yes. Yeah.
If that's not situational awareness, I don't know what is.
Yeah. It's not. It's you can't leave with a DOT item that's wrong. We want it fixed. But then on top of it, that probably should have been caught the night before.
Right.
And a picture of, and all the mechanics we have working here and written up. But you guys just can't leave with things wrong with your truck. I know, standing out at the fuel island, and it's a minor thing, and I don't know if the rubber boots have gotten old or whatever, but we changed to the oblonged tail lights built into the panel on the red frames, and they're really nice. They work well. We got rid of the shorting, but 2 of the guys come in with the tail lights hanging out of the grommet.
Which blows me. That's the first I'd seen that on Monday, Jim, and then another truck it's the first I've seen it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I mean, usually I can't.
How does the light come out of a rubber grommet?
Yeah, I can't get them in the grommets.
Right.
And then you can't get them out of the grommet.
Right.
Yeah, on the trailer, you can't.
Right,
Yeah.
Dave? And I don't know if the oblong ones are a little different, but you guys dumped your last load, you cleaned out, and you showed up here with the tail light out. I don't think it just happened. It could have. It could have bounced out over the railroad track. There's that possibility. But the thing is, you're not walking your trucks. You're not looking. the tarps. Caught several of them half rolled in, half rolled out, coming in the fuel island. It's the situations,
Yeah, I think the thing is they are walking the truck, but they're not looking. They're just not looking at things and paying attention to the detail.
Pretty sure that's called situational awareness.
Yeah. It's
the
devil's in the details, guys.
leaving with things wrong. I know Super Dave brought it up. We had a truck that he found a lug nut missing off of it. And the driver asked if he could leave. Well, if one's missing, more than likely the rest are loose. That's what that would lead me to believe. It wasn't put on correctly. And no, you can't leave. DOT, you can't, maybe 9 nuts will hold it on. I don't know that, but that's not the correct thing. That's not right. It's broken, but if you're not glancing at your lug nuts when you're walking by and doing your stuff, you're not a good driver. You're not being safe,
Yeah, it's complacency. Everybody's taught that when they go to driving school, and a year, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, they just take it for granted that everything's in order, and it's not.
I kind of have to back up on that on the driving school, Dave. They're not taught that on driving school anymore.
No. You have to go over it in your pre-trip, though. You have to.
That's all.
Touch your lug nuts and make sure they're tight and there's no rust coming out of that.
All you have to do is say, "I've looked." Yeah, I've looked.
Well, the saying is loose, bent, or broken. You hear that all the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what you do have to be able to say. Yeah. And and it is funny. I mean, if they're really loose, you'll be able to spin them with your hand. But otherwise, you don't know whether they're really loose by grabbing them, right?
Yeah.
The rust, though, and the rub.
That's an indicator.
That's a good one. That will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
While we're in this area, number one, make sure you're checking your registrations and insurance, not only on your tractor, but your trailer. I did find a couple of expired insurance cards. The tractor had good cards, and it's a fleet card, but either lost or missing, or we need everybody do me a favor after today's show, when you get in tonight or tomorrow morning, when you're doing your pre-trip, make sure you got that. Tonight is preferable.
Yeah, or damaged. I got to throw that out.
Damaged as well. Yeah. If it's just in there in a little red insurance card holder, it's just going to get wet. Make sure it's in a baggie. So
I think the same thing with the overweight permits. You better make sure you have your overweight permit, the piece of paper, and it's in the correct truck, and it's in the truck, because if you do get pulled over, you need to show that.
And then speaking of the complacency, I had it later down on the list, but since we're talking about it, I feel like when somebody's in their truck every day and something starts off small, they may not realize it. And then it gets a little bit bigger and they're not realizing that. You really need to look at stuff with a fine-tooth comb, because 2 trailers that I was in last week, one this week, one last week, they both had cracked dog houses at the bottom there. That one weld at the very bottom. 2 trucks I found and cracked all the way around. So I could spot it right away, but I'm not in that trailer every day. You guys should be spotting right away. Number one, your doghouse, that area needs to be clean or you're not going to see that. And number 2, you got to be looking. You got to be looking like that's not normal. There's supposed to be a weld there. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes somebody different jumps into your truck. You haven't been writing anything up for the last month, and then somebody gets in your truck and there's 5 write-ups because they're like, well, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. My truck's not like this,
Yeah. So true. Yeah.
JR contributed quite a bit as usual. One thing to note with the warmer, hotter weather, fifth wheels will make a rubbing noise as you turn, which gets confused with the steering issue. This is normal because polyethylene slick pads on the fifth wheels rubbing against the trailer kingpin plate. So it's kind of like eerie, squeaky, you'll recognize it in that. Yeah, it's just your slick disc and your fifth wheel.
It is a weird noise, Jim.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
It is very annoying.
A lot of the guys are coming in loaded, and then, stopping and then making that turn to come in the fuel line and then going slow. And you really do hear it. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also from JR, make sure to place write-ups under the correct DVIR. Tractor write-ups under tractor DVIR and trailer write-ups under trailer DVIR. We are getting trailer ABS write-ups on the tractor DVIR and not getting cleared. Also a reminder to add the truck number in the notes to help the shop find a trailer in the yard. If marking a defect, you need to give notes on the issue. Otherwise, the shop won't know what they need to check or do. I got to throw myself under the bus here. I'm guilty. I wrote up a FMCSA sticker the other day. I'm looking, it's expired on the tractor, and I wrote it up on the trailer, and I didn't make a note what tractor the trailer is buying. So Matt L. Sr. calls me up. He's like, hey, bud. He's like, you did this and you did that. I'm like, oh, I'm that guy, huh? So it is easy to not do it the right way.
Yeah.
But, duly noted for my next time,
Yeah. I still need to follow up. Maybe JR, when you listen to the podcast, you can help me out. But I had Mark stop me. And he says he can't write up anything else on his Samsara, like it's full. And I feel like he's just not in the right spot or whatever. Cause to me, it should be some of the stuff should be being done by the mechanics and put in a different spot. I just don't know how it works. And we all talked, hopefully that's not possible, that Samsara gets full and you can't write stuff up.
Right.
But I need to get him an answer and discuss it with JR on what's happening.
I mean, that's doubtful, but just Samsara, the way they've been doing things, I would be surprised.
That it's full, right?
Not shocked, but surprised.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
I want to back up, Jen, because you brought up a point about, you're like, oh, I'm that guy. That sucked. You owned it right there. Just showed ownership of that. I guess I want to back up and give a shout out to Fabian Sotelo.
Yeah, that was a good one, Dave.
He was here Saturday. He was kindest guy in the world, man. I was out there on the skid steer. It was like 3:30 Saturday, and I was working away. And I mean, it's hot. It's hot out, right? When you're in those skid steers, you're sitting on top of that motor. So it's 100 degrees outside, and you're sitting on top of a 200-degree engine, right? There's no air conditioning in those. And he was so kind and brought me an energy drink. And he's like, hey, man, he goes, it's not 100% cold, but he goes, it's cold. And the bottom line is we got to talking football for like 10 minutes and just BSing, had a great conversation with the man. So easy to talk to. And he was distracted because of that, thinking of me to help me out, which again was so kind, but he left the truck and left the key on, which I'm guilty. I've done that before, right? It's happened many times.
Distracted, yeah.
But you know what I loved? This is the part I loved. On Monday morning, he got here. I screwed up, left my key on, my truck's dead. I freaking love that. I love the ownership of that. And it's no big deal. It's just no big deal. But when you get told the story, I don't know what happened. I had my battery cutoffs off. You know what I mean? And then we can't fix it. Right now, there's nothing to fix.
We know what's wrong.
He messed up, left the key on. Great. Let's charge it, send him on his way. It's not a big deal. Otherwise, we're like, well, something's broken. You know what I mean? How did the batteries go dead if you had the battery cutoffs off? You know what I mean? It just opens Pandora's box of issues that you can't fix because you don't know truly what happened. This, we know what happened. There's nothing to fix. It's done. And I just love that. Just honest people are amazing to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's how it should be. I mean, just so you know, you're like, people are scared to get in trouble.
Right.
And I don't really know what in trouble means. If you come to us and I've seen some pretty crazy things happen here that cause lots of damage. And what is in trouble? I mean, sometimes there's ramifications or repercussions. You may be disqualified from a month to 3 months of safety bonus. Like, it's not really trouble though. Like, these are the policies. It's how it works. Like, to me, it's trouble. Like, you got caught by your mom doing something and now you're punished. You can't leave the house. That's trouble. But when you hear people with the stories, it reminds me of, young children.
Yes.
Like, hey, did you get it? I saw a video the other day. Hey, I heard you got into a fight at school today. No, I didn't. And then, okay, well, how many times did you hit him? Once. Are you sure it was once? Twice. By the end of the story, the kid hit him 5 times and won the fight. But it's like, to get to the bottom of that, like, just say, hey, I hit him 5 times. He deserved it.
Yeah. It's tough to be honest about this stuff. And I don't know if it's honest.
Is it tough to be honest?
Yeah, Jam. It has to be.
My buddy Tim.
It's harder than just telling that lie to get you out of it. But then you got to tell another one.
Yeah.
So
and then another one.
I talk about Timmy. Shout out to Timmy. Chesapeake Timmy. No, he's not in Chesapeake. He is in Dumfries, Virginia.
Dumfries.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's not dumb. He's free of dumb, right? But anyway, 2 days ago, he always tells me, we tell work stories, and he's got this daytime site supervisor, older gentleman, 64, but doesn't act his age sometimes. So the other day he tells me, he's like, oh yeah, John had to leave suddenly. He, took everything out of the site trailer. He checked out of the room, like this and that. His girlfriend's kid got hit by a car and he had to rush home. I'm like, that's bullshit. He's like, what? I was like, bro, like, I hate to be callous, but I highly doubt that's what happened. I was like, because he didn't call anybody. He just left. I'm like, that doesn't seem like he's 64. He's a mature man. You have an emergency. You tell your people, hey, listen, I have an emergency I got to go attend to. It's a 14-hour drive home, not a phone call, not a text. I'm like, that smells like bullshit to me, Tim. He's like, no way. Yesterday, I get him on the phone. He's like, you were right. John's in Chicago. He took another job and just ghosted.
Yeah. Wow.
So is it hard to be honest? Could a 64-year-old man just come into work and say, you know what, this job is not for me. I'm sorry. I'm not giving you 2 weeks notice. F you. I love you. Whatever it is, I'm leaving. You need to find it.
Right.
Just boop, gone. So crazy. But we've seen it so much. I'm like,
Yes, it happens everywhere.
I'm like, no, Tim, that's not, John didn't leave on an emergency.
Yeah, and the thing is, I hear so many people talking about our younger generation because it's 6 years past that, so if they were, 10 years old, they're 16, they're more young adults, but that COVID caused us to unsocialize and didn't learn all these skills and a year by yourself and all this other stuff. You're talking about a 64-year-old man.
Right.
COVID didn't affect him.
Nope.
But it's life. We all have choices that we can make. It's like, oh, such and such isn't teaching me this. Well, you can learn it. No one taught me how to build a DEF system. I figured it out. No one taught us how to do this other stuff. No one taught us this stuff. You go figure it out, right? I mean, if you just have a pile of excuses, that's pretty much how you live, right? You have choices you can make and figure things out. That's
sometimes it's fun. Nobody taught me how to do a podcast.
Right? You figured it out. You taught us. Yeah. What I got to say.
Not very well.
That's that guy's character. He's been that way his whole life.
Right.
Yeah,
and he thinks it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, back on the high road. Have we been on the high road yet? I think
We have
been.
lots of information catching up.
Up and down.
Lots of good shout outs. Yeah.
Yes. Next on the list, if your truck is downed midday, please still finish out post-trip DVIR with the write-up before switching to another vehicle to finish out the day. Makes sense. Your truck's down or your trailer goes down. You need to do the DVIR, leave that vehicle in Samsara, and then get into a new vehicle in Samsara and start your pre-trip. Again from JR, addressing repeated safety alerts. We need to address the ongoing issue regarding drivers who receive continuous safety alerts without making an effort to correct their driving habits. I'll just jump in here. For example, he is actually. We are regularly seeing video clips of excessive following distance, speeding, and aggressive driving. This behavior not only displays a disregard for safety, but it also means drivers are missing out on the opportunity to maximize their safety bonuses. We want to see everyone succeed and earn their full incentives. But repeated unsafe driving will not be ignored. If the safety team does not see a clear positive progression in your driving metrics, it will result in the immediate suspension of certain privileges. Until your driving habits improve, the following privileges will be paused: ride-along privileges and overweight permit usage. Safety is not optional, and these alerts must be taken seriously. Please make the necessary adjustments on the road immediately so you can protect your bonuses, your privileges, and everyone's safety. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's
Sounds simple. Sounds like situational awareness again, but here we are.
and the whole thing that we preach because of what we've learned, and we have a situation going on right now with a accident we've had, but it's also to be defendable. We've talked about that over and over and over. and how you're perceived and all this other stuff and the what ifs. And you got to be careful because they will, I know you've heard me say it over and over. They will name you in a lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
They will get to you.
Yep.
And why jeopardize that? And you might go your whole life and not even, what I say might just be bullshit because it never happens to you.
Right.
But what if?
Yep.
And Dave just said it, situational awareness. What is the whole situation? What is the thing from, the cradle to grave? What does the situation look like? We had this morning, we're trying to work and train a couple of new guys. One of them is a driver's son here, Kenny. And as you work with him, me and Dave were trying to talk to D about situational awareness, and he's down helping me shovel, find an electric line. And I've moved the two piles. I have dirt on one side and I have our recycled asphalt on the other side. And he's digging the line, trying to find the electric line, and guess where he's throwing the regular dirt?
The asphalt.
Yep.
How did I guess that? Oh man.
Yep. And it's just the situation, guys, and it's so simple. And, I didn't catch it at first until he had quite a bit of it shoveled up on the asphalt. But I don't know. It's like coming into the fuel pumps, 1 through 5, you're fueling, 6, 7, 8, 9 are not fueling yet. They do have DEF at them. I've tried to go over that on the radio, and I've still had a couple guys whip up to, like pump 7 and can't get fuel. It's like, well, 1 through 5 have fuel, just like we've went and, tried to talk to every driver as they come in and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, situational awareness, understanding, having some patience, driving a little bit slower, figuring the situation out. And then the very end of it is, if you don't know what's going on, just stop. Just stop. And the thing is I know Dave will never yell at you, but we got guys that stop in their trucks. I might be on the ground, but they wave me like I need to go to them.
Yeah.
And they're trying to talk to you out the window
with the truck engine running. And there's no person on earth that can hear the driver from the cab with the truck engine running.
Come here, brother.
Yeah. And that's lazy trucker 101.
Yeah, Dave.
And come on.
I want to say that again because the cabs are made to be quiet. So you don't think it's loud outside? But like you're saying, Dave, you can't hear shit with the engine running. Then because it's hot, the engine fan's on, and when I say about stopping, just stop, get out of your truck and come talk to me. Hey, show me which island is which, what's number 1, what's number 5, educate yourself. You can, learn how it needs to be done. We can do it, you guys, we can do it. Yeah.
I kind of want to back up a little bit, Jim, what you started on there about the camera and following distances, reading what JR was talking about.
Yep.
And 5 minutes prior to that, we were talking about, well, nobody told me, nobody educated me, nobody showed me that, nobody taught me how to do that. Guys, you have a trainer sitting right in the cab with you watching the road. When it tells you to slow down or you're following too close, Jim, what would have you done to have a device like that 30 years ago when we were driving?
Oh man, to make me a better driver.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. You have someone in your corner in the cab with you and they're not even taking up the seat space, helping you be a better driver. And newsflash, it's right.
But
we haven't found a camera that's wrong yet. I mean, we may
especially
have,
now the following distances are,
they're spot on.
yeah, it used to be we would calibrate them, and
if it barks at you because you're following too close, newsflash, you're following too close. Just learn that distance and back off, because boy, the bulk of the people here do it right. When you're getting those notifications, you're not doing it right. You need to mind that gap. That's what they say at the subway in England. Mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
You need to mind the gap, man. You need to make that gap and open it up.
I mean, you just had it happen to you personally, Dave. You got rear-ended the other night, sitting at the light, and if he would have had a camera in there, because the guy that rear-ended him told Dave that he abruptly, he told the cop Dave abruptly stopped.
Yeah, but after he hit me and got out of the car, I was like, damn, that phone's pretty distracting, huh, dude? That was my first words to him. And he goes, I was picking some food out of my teeth, looking in the rearview mirror, and he had his little pinky up to his side teeth. And I'm like, dude, you're something.
But if we had a camera in the pickup, it would have shown that Dave was just sitting there still. He didn't abruptly stop. He just was sitting there when he got rear-ended, the whole bit. And we, don't have cam in because the don't have the camera footage, but they could have shown it to the cop.
Just to put a stamp on this whole thing with the repeat offenders, the following distance is something we see a lot, where it's like every time we coach you, you got 5 to 10 following distance alerts. Number one, that's killing your score, right? Number two, if you're not getting better, I mean, what do we have to do? It's dangerous, right? Remember, we need a 4 seconds following distance, and you're at less than 1.5 seconds for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
that's a problem.
Not good at all. And if you're going to dispute, like on Samsara, you have the opportunity to dispute the alerts that you're receiving. If you're gonna dispute a following distance alert, tell us why you're disputing it. Don't just say this is incorrect, this is wrong. Like, what's wrong about it? Say, hey, I counted. I had 5 seconds of following distance. This is wrong. Or I had 2 seconds of following distance, which isn't enough, but the camera is wrong. Like, don't just say I'm disputing this. That makes no sense. You're just creating work for us here at the office to relook at something that we already know is correct. So,
yeah, absolutely, Jim. No, no doubt about it.
Hey, I just got word that Ashley Fernandez also had her baby on July 11th, and her name is Deliza.
Deliza. Congratulations, Ashley. That's awesome.
That? Somebody else has it? Never mind. Never mind. It's all blur. All right, Kendrick has put a couple things on the outline for us. Number one, he says, if your truck breaks down on the side of the road, set your triangles out. Try to move over as far as possible and turn your hazards on, even though you have the triangles out. Do not disconnect your trailer or try to drop it on the side of the highway unless a mechanic or safety team member is there with you. Generally, we will not drop a loaded trailer on the side of the road. For your own personal safety, do not stand next to your truck on the driver's side. Either stay in the cab, passenger side, or in the front of the truck. Amen to that, man. I don't even like being near the car. If I'm on the shoulder getting some Taco Bell, if I'm on the shoulder of the road, broke down, I'm out of the truck maybe 30 yards in front of the truck. I don't trust that. I've seen too many videos on social media of cars getting smacked on the side of the road.
I mean, look at all the times the cops get hit and they have, or the fire truck and they got lights.
Yep. Yeah. It's like a moth driving to a flame.
It is.
It's crazy.
It is, yeah.
Good advice, Kendrick. Thank you. He also goes into the air inflation lights on the trailer. You cannot leave the yard with it on. Here are a couple ideas to help you resolve this issue. Start your truck with both the tractor and trailer valves set, the red and yellow pulled out. Allow the air to build up to 120 plus PSI. You'll hear your air dryer kick off, then release the trailer brake, pushing the red valve. Your air may drop, it will, but allow it to build back up to 120 plus PSI before releasing your tractor valve, the yellow valve pushed in. While your air builds, which should be under 2 minutes, you can do your in-cab inspection, checking your permit book, city horn, air horn, wipers, fire extinguisher mount, and charge, triangles, tow hook, tool bag, radio checks, and cleanliness of the cab. If the light does not go off, then you could set the brakes, pump the brakes down to 20 PSI, then allow the air to build back to 120 PSI, and release the trailer brakes, allowing the air to build, then release the tractor brake. If the light is still on, then go do an audible and visual check of your trailer, listening for tire leaks. Anyone on the safety team would be glad to assist you with searching for the leak. That's one thing. To test your inflation system, you must have the key on in the on position, the trailer valve pushed in, and over 90 PSI supplied to the trailer. There's a black box located either in the front of the front trailer axle or between the trailer axles up against the bottom of the trailer. There will be a Schrader valve on either side of the black box that you depress the valve and the light should come on the side of the trailer. If it does not come on, there's a malfunction in the system or a burned out light. Good advice, Kendrick. We have been fighting those auto inflation lights a lot lately, and we're trying to get to the bottom of them all. The other thing is, if you continually have your auto inflation light coming on, when you get in that night or in the morning, don't start your truck up, bump your tires, or even put an air gauge on your tires before you start your truck. and you'll be able to find out which tire is low. And at least you're able to go to the mechanics and be like, hey, I'm at 100 PSI in these three, this one has 70. Now we're getting somewhere. But if you start the truck up and you air that tire up, that light comes on to, you don't have the 110 or the 100 to make it go off, but you got 95, it makes it really hard for us to determine which tire is flat.
Yeah, and that's very true. And I know there's a couple of trucks we're working with. I know I've called out the driver several times, and he's like, no, I've done this. And I joked with him last time, if I call you out again, tell me it's me. I'm working on it. We're working on it. But kind of where I'm going with the story is we did find a low tire on his truck and they fixed it. Then the light's still coming on. But it doesn't mean it's not another low tire. You can't just go, oh, the system's messed up. But there could be some seals leaking on the hubs. There could be a problem with the air system itself. But I've had Ricky go around, I don't know how many times, and we don't want to wrench down on him, but he sprayed the white hoses and they're leaking, either at the valve stem or at the hub. And those are some of the things we need to check. And like you said, Jam, the not starting the truck is the best thing to start with, so they don't go to filling. Or you could start the truck, but make sure your trailer valve isn't pushed in, so it's supplying air back there until we get this figured out. But yeah, if you're fighting that, let's get it fixed. And the thing is that's just one of those situational awareness. You're not going to go to Sterling or out of town or a long haul in the heat and take a chance of blowing a trailer tire because you don't have one that's been compromised because we've pulled it around being low. And because those tires are badass. They blow out when they've been mistreated, but they don't blow out otherwise. They just don't.
Yep. Yeah, we get it. I know some of you guys are tired of hearing it because we've been chasing that problem on your trailer for a while, but we can't tell sometimes that it's you. We don't want to ignore a truck going down the road with an auto inflation light because it could be somebody else, and you're like, oh no, it's me again.
Yeah. We'll always call or check it because it's what's going on. We can't have you leave. Yep.
All right. I think we're going to give this next portion to Brother Dave. What's next or what's right now, Brother Dave? What do we got going on?
Sorry, Jam. Did you grab the paperwork at yard 23?
Nope. That was really important. I know we talked about it. I'm that guy. Go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah. Just, hey, please, you guys, I know you're whipping in here, getting fuel and stuff. We put mailboxes on every dispenser or where the pump handle is at, whatever you want to call it. I know since we're using the 5, there's a possibility that mailbox gets full. Just walk down to another mailbox and put your tickets in there. I did have a driver. We had a great conversation about the little bitty tickets. I think they're CMEX tickets or I don't know. Some really little tickets. He asked about putting them in the boxes. Ken's been really good. The girl's been really good. They look in the mailboxes. They're looking for the small ticket. So please make sure all your tickets are in the mailboxes. We're trying not, and I know we still have, but we're trying not to put any tickets in the scale house. No tickets in the scale house. The big thing about that is the drivers were pulling up with their tickets, blocking the islands off, blocking the wash guys off, and walking in and putting their tickets in there. And then I've had a couple times where they see another driver and then there's a conversation going, how you doing, all that kind of stuff. And your car is just in the way.
Yeah, keep it moving.
Keep it moving. You know how fast we can fuel. And, I did notice a couple people, they pulled up to the fuel islands and they don't get out of their truck right away because they're doing their paperwork, doing their tickets, sitting at the fuel island. That's a place to fuel. We've made it fast, you guys. You guys have to be loving that. By hopefully next week, we'll have another 4 dispensers online. We've done everything to make it better for you guys. You guys need to step up and make it better for us.
You definitely shouldn't be doing your tickets at the fuel aisle because they're supposed to be done at every load.
Absolutely, Jam.
Most of it should be, honestly, most of it's done before you leave the pit.
Yeah.
That's one of the easiest things we do. You get loaded, you pull over, you scan your ticket, Then you enter your information, you send it, and then when you get to the plant, all you have to do is say you arrived, and then send your ticket or send the load that is complete. It's the easiest thing in the world. There is no reason to be doing that here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm probably going to disappoint you, Jam, for what's next or what's now. Jim can jump in there. It's everything. I don't have one thing. You know what I mean? There's no.
Well,
I don't even know how to answer it.
Yeah, I mean,
because everybody wants a time frame, and we don't have.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't say Tuesday we're doing this, Monday we're doing this, Wednesday we're going to be on that, Saturday we need to get this done. The building needs to come down. We're going to have parking. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm so disappointed.
There's not. I don't think there's one thing we can pinpoint. Everybody has all these questions, and it's day to day on. All right, this is the fire.
Sure.
Yeah, the thing I want to address about it is I've realized how excited everybody is. And for myself, I haven't been excited because we're in the heat of it trying to get things done. So us trying to think of the next step or use our situational awareness, there's not a chance for us to be excited.
Right.
I would love somebody to be taking care of everything and go, hey, you can move. I would be so excited, and move in here. One of your questions early, when are we going to move the trucks? Honestly, we had a different inspector that I don't believe he's been here, right, Dave? The one yesterday? Maybe he's
I'm not
been
of
here.
that impression, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, got to kind of say it, he's an asshole. The inspections didn't go really well. And, honestly, our GC here, at one point, he looked at the inspector and said, fuck you, leave.
Ooh.
And
he's not like that.
If you can't help me, leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody looked at Dan like, oh shit, you just told the inspector that. So the inspector walked out one door, he walked back around and he walked back in the other door and came back in and goes, can we start over?
Oh.
And because the guy, he realized he was an asshole. And Dan said, sure, let's go through it. And we have a couple things we need to fix. The one big thing is it was never brought up by any other inspector, just this guy. This is what this guy wants. And so we have to fix it. So when we try to give you guys dates and make a plan, we don't know that this stuff's going to happen. So we have to pivot. We're not trying to get you more excited. We're not trying to lie to you. We're not trying to, you guys just don't realize like Dave said, all the pieces that need to be put together to get to this point. I had a couple guys ask me last night, we moved the tank Monday. Everybody knows the tank's gone, the other fuel tank. It's all plumbed. Now we're waiting for the state to come out and inspect it, and it should be sometime today, I think. Dave, right? The guy's supposed to show up?
I don't even know.
But that's just what we're told, right?
Mm-hmm. Was the guy yesterday from Adams County or from Commerce City?
He was Commerce City, and he was the normal inspector's boss. And, he's like, and the thing is, we asked for a building inspection. He's over electrical, which he can do a building inspector, but he's ripping on our electrical that's passed all this time.
Now they want ballards in front of the frickin' electric panels down here, Dave.
Yeah.
Because someone may hit those panels because there's vehicles in here. Yeah, someone may hit the damn transformer in the street, right? Why do we need, so, yeah. You guys figure that out. Let us know what you come up with.
Well, I remember public service came in and put ballards in front of the air conditioner at the old building out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can also run down the street and hit a telephone pole. Do we need ballards around the telephone pole?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. So
it's like walking around with a condom on just in case.
I do.
But yeah, there's so many details, and it's really tough when we're trying to communicate about everything else to keep those lines of communication open and share with you guys. So, hopefully by the end of the week, the tank will be really close to being inspected, approved, come online next week. Then we'll go, okay, we have fuel, we can fuel everybody faster, blah, 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 blah. Let's move over. We have to get the mechanics over. We have to get the air system working here yet. We have oil to move. There's a few more steps. Dave and Scooby, they've crushed it on the DEF. The DEF system works amazingly. We got the last tank finished yesterday. Just so much. So yeah, what's next or what's now, I mean, just a little detail. We were going to move the office. We ordered desks 2 weeks ago. I was told the desks wouldn't be here till the 22nd or 21st next week. Now I got a notification they're all being delivered tonight. So good news, right?
Right.
Update. So yeah, just everybody keep working, and we do really, I had a good discussion with Ann, and I personally didn't understand how excited everybody was, and I think that's amazing, and that's what we want. And I kind of squashed Ann, and like what's going on? What's the deal? Why all these questions? And she was like, I think we're just excited, and I appreciate that. So I apologize that I was, like, what the hell? I don't have all the answers. So yeah, so good stuff. So that's what's next, Jam. Is we're so close.
Yeah.
So close.
Yep. There's a lot of things happening, and there's a lot of things still gonna happen. And
Yeah.
I mean, I could taste it. I mean, it feels really close to me,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's
I'm
in
not
the
in your
air.
guys. I'm not in
Yeah.
your guys' shoes.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, one thing, and I know we've given so much information now, Jam even warned us that after, 2 weeks, we have all this stuff to get out there. If you're leaving in your personal vehicle, if you're leaving yard 23 in your personal vehicle, please again, drive to the north and go out past the scale house. Don't try to cut through where the trucks are getting fuel. That's part of that situational awareness. You don't see the trucks trying to come in. Please drive out and around. Keep the flow of traffic.
I did have a driver ask me the other day, and hopefully I gave him the right answer. If they're from this yard and they're fueling in the morning, which way should they enter the?
Well, when we get all the trucks over here, Jam, that's a great question. When we get all the trucks over here, we should be fueling coming from the north to the south.
Leaving.
Right? Leaving. But now we have trucks still coming in that their way is to come straight in from south to north. Then if I tell all our guys, here, the truck's here, to go north to south, you're running into each other.
One thing we could do is use a skid tank. That's out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
and I think some of the guys here, the skid tank is it doesn't have DEF, right? So you got to find an island and get DEF. So my answer would be, if you're leaving, you go from north to south, but you're going to run into one of the guys from the other yard whipping in there.
Gotcha.
So I guess try to work through it in the morning. The really, 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 really best answer is please just fuel at night.
Right.
Just come over here and fuel at night. Be ready for the morning. I know it's taken 15 more minutes to, drive back and forth, but if you just fuel at night, no problems.
One thing I did notice leaving during the middle of the day one day last week, getting fuel, the DEF nozzle is not going to be lined up as if you were coming in. It's further back.
Yes, they're opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's fully designed to be
Coming
on your
in.
way in,
Yes.
but totally easy to do it on your way out.
Sure.
You just have to pull forward a little bit further, right, Jim? I mean, the hoses are just opposite, right? They're set for coming in.
Right.
Totally usable, though, going out. You just have to find your spot to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool.
Hey, and I don't know, you may have to erase this, Jam. And we want to train everybody. If somebody would happen to break a DEF handle or pull the hose off, or there's a leak, you can go to the 2 big DEF tanks, and there's red shutoffs. There's big, huge shutoffs to shut that off. So if anybody would happen to break, we'll try to train you guys. I should show all the drivers. Please go over to the DEF tanks and shut the line off, because we will empty the tanks. It's pretty obvious. There's big red valves. Turn the valve so the red handle is across the pipe, and stop the leak. So that's something everybody will need to be taught, because it's a volume system. It's head pressure. If somebody doesn't know what that is, there is no pump to shut off. So we need to do some more training as we get in here.
Okay. Got it. All right. Safety topic of the week. It's kind of a tip and trick and safety topic. I had the pleasure of going to our Arcosa last week. I haven't been there quite a few years. Things are a little bit different. You still tear in on channel 2. Once you tear in, though, you could ask them for a company radio, and they like to speak to you on their own company radios.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was different. Super Dave Barb isn't there anymore.
I knew that.
No trucker has driven off with their radio yet?
I know, but yeah, I didn't really know. Mondo mentioned, well, if you're getting loaded by the loader, grab a radio, but I was going to load under the silo, so I didn't. But the scale lady came out with the radio and she says, here you go. You could use this. Talk to me. And they're going through some things over there. She's an office lady that turned into an office and a scale lady that also turned into a loading lady. So she's wearing lots of hats, but had a really good attitude. I think her name might have been Tanya. I'm not really sure about that, but it's quite the operation there. Things are tight going through the silos. You need a honk when you're entering the silo, and then she'll just jump on that radio. And when you get back on the scale, you got to go get your ticket. So get out of the truck with the radio, bring it back. So.
Yeah, I believe, Jam, not that it really matters because we're going to truck until we're done up there, but I think they closed the end of 2027.
Okay.
That location will close.
Gotcha.
So it'll be, but that's wonderful. They're helping us out with a company radio. How cool is that?
Yep. And there was a long line of, they looked like grain haulers, obviously.
Yeah, taking chips out.
Yeah, long line, and we don't wait in that line. Those guys are getting loaded by the load, unless you're getting that stuff. But if you're getting loaded under the silo, you don't need to wait behind that long line of trucks. You'll be there forever and a day if you do that. Go around, get scaled in, and yeah.
Back in the day, those were Kansas trucks.
Could still be.
Yeah.
Could still be soon.
KDOT.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
They were loading that into
not CDOT, but KDOT.
Upper bottom grain trailers.
Yep.
It's their backhaul.
There you go. Anybody want to read the tricks and tips and tricks with Armando, the Sergeant Del Val?
I can do it, Jam. I don't want.
Okay.
Oh, tips and tricks with Armando, the Sergeant Del Val. Number 59, driver's tips and tricks. Good morning, JFW family, and welcome back to another week of tips and tricks. Please remember the purpose of these tips and tricks are just ways for us to be helpful, better, and safer drivers on the road. Let's be JFW professionals. For the past couple of months now, I've been getting a lot of suggestions for my tips and tricks. Every single one of them are really good, but I was having a difficult time on trying to write one up because it was really short. So instead, I came up with this title and just bring all of their suggestions into one. No names will be mentioned due to their privacy. So first is sweeping the trailer out at the end of the day. This one is actually from me. My trainee was riding in someone else's truck for the day, and while doing his pre-trip, he noticed that the trailer was not swept out. If he didn't catch this and picked up a load, that load he picked up now would be contaminated. So basically sweep out, you guys, or if you're putting another truck, what Armando's saying is you got to look in the trailer. Got to look in the trailer before you go load another load if it's not your truck. Same kind of goes even if it is your truck in case it was used for Coors. I think just unless you absolutely know your truck wasn't used, you should check the trailer every morning. Next one is racing. I've actually had 2 drivers tell me to mention this on my tips and tricks. Drivers, let's not try to race with anyone. Whether they're with JFW or not, we shouldn't feel like we're in a race. Now, this is just my opinion, even though JFW allows no more than 4 miles per hour over the speed limit. If they're going the exact speed, why feel the need to pass them? That's been something for years, just don't pass the guy in front of you. We're all going to the same place. He can't be running that much slower than you are. Armando, I don't want to, mess up your tips and tricks, but we had a guy that was using the cruise to pass other people because it was just a hair faster. And you can't do that. That is racing. His next one, situational awareness. Dave, this is for us. We're having drivers exiting last second on the interstate and highways, entering the pit and plants at fast speeds, merging onto lanes without using turn signals, passing through a red light, and much more. I will say this because this happened to a lot of the drivers in the past since I've been here. If this continues to happen, one day there will be an accident. We've had accidents and we just had, when it's so bad, we have the public call in on us. And when the public's aware, man, it's not good, you guys.
Problem.
It is a problem. The next one, drivers being disrespectful on the CB radio. Months ago, a driver came to me because he wanted me to bring it up about respect. A few months ago, I wrote a tips and tricks about respect. Apparently, it needs to be brought up again. The driver called another driver over the CB to tell the driver to relax and don't be impatient. The other driver replied with mind your own business and let me drive. You know, I just had a driver tell me at the fuel pumps that he told somebody, you know, how the fuel system was working, 1 through 5, and the driver told him to mind his own business. You know, it's just not good. So his next one here. Now I truly do believe that we are a team and we should work together to make us better. But just like any team sports, there's always going to be a few players who just don't want to work together. Again, I will say eventually those players and drivers will be removed or quit the team. They usually weed themselves out. You're right, Armando. Driving unassigned trucks. Drivers, please clean up after yourself and remove all the trash at the end of the day. Some drivers mentioned this over the company radio. Don't leave your trash inside the truck at the end. Please don't take other people's belongings and put everything back the way it was when you came in that morning. Also, please fill up both the fuel and DEF. I know that this is not your assigned truck, but when you do get a truck assigned to you and someone drives yours because you're off, you'd want that truck in the same condition you left it before you had the day off. You know, I gotta interject in there. I just love my TikToks. I keep getting this TikTok where it's a little boy dragging his luggage and he's crying, and it shows him in a loader bucket walking away, and he's going on vacation, and the little boy goes crying over the way, knowing that when I come back, my loader will be trashed by other loader operators. You know, and it's just, that's so true. You know, this is what we're talking about. Your stuff gets trashed by a fill-in driver, so please be respectful. This last one is keeping your company radios on and asking help from dispatch when you should be asking the drivers. I'm sure that dispatch doesn't mind when it comes to asking questions that is related to us drivers. Please don't ask dispatch. Use the company radio and ask us as drivers what you need help on. Now, if there's a question related to your sidekick or dispatch, then yes, ask away. Great point. I think the only other thing with that, Armando, that I noticed is if you happen to know the truck's number that you're asking help from, because when you go, hey, I've been down to this job, can somebody help me out? Lots of people get on, and it's hard to get the stuff. So maybe ask dispatch, hey, what trucks ran this? And then call that truck number. You know, right. For example, Rick Gray, or the personal name. If you know, hey, Rick, can you help me out with directions? That saves a little step, might help out. He finishes up, don't bother dispatch about a mechanical situation on your truck. Contact the shop and let them know what the problem is. Also, don't call dispatch for updates about traffic. I'm sure at least a driver or two went through that area and can give you an update. If no one answers, then ask dispatch and maybe they can help. When you spot a DOT portable stop, just call it over the radio where they're setting up or set up at, if you can say it again, just in case someone didn't catch it the first time. Drivers, if you don't hear and are not sure where it's at, use that company radio and say it to repeat the last transmission. Yeah, say it a couple of times. You guys probably get irritated at me, but when I say there's a truck coming around the corner, I say it a couple of times. You know, it's easily done. Communication. And here's his last one. He says, finally, this one is from me again. At the end of the day, to those drivers that are slip seating, please don't bother anyone from dispatch and ask them what truck you're going to be in for the next day. You can check to see what truck you're driving the next day on Sidekick. Remember that when the drivers are beginning to bring it in, dispatch is working on tomorrow's dispatch for all the drivers. Great point. I apologize to the drivers that I didn't mention what they wanted me to bring up. I should have wrote them down, but these are the ones I do remember, and thank you for letting me know. But please don't be afraid to speak up. If you see something, say something. The drivers are 00100 Tony, 0075 Fabio, 0074 Carl, 007 Georgi,
70.
or said what I say, Dave?
7.
7? It's close. 0070 Georgi and 0090 Todd. Please let me know on Connect Team what you think about this week's tips and tricks, and thank you all again for listening and for the positive feedbacks. Let's start doing things the JFW way. Until next time, Armando, the Sergeant Duvall, 0073, together we can be better.
Nice.
Right?
That was a good one, Armando.
Yeah, it was great.
Appreciate you reading that, Jim.
You did a good job.
Thanks. Yeah, I was going to say, Jim, you know why I asked to read these when you said, does anybody want to read those?
You like reading it?
No, I don't like reading because it makes me uncomfortable.
Ah,
I have to do something that I'm not comfortable doing. I have to, and I don't get to read out loud. It's not part of my life.
sure.
You know, I maybe to my girls when they were young, read them a story, but right now, so this keeps me in practice. I guess I wanted to mention this, even if I don't sound good. I'm not embarrassed about it, but I'm
Sure.
trying to be better
Absolutely.
by practicing reading this. So when you guys run into something difficult, practice it. Put yourself in a difficult situation.
Get uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly. You'll grow.
One thing about reading, sometimes I feel like I read well, and then other times I feel like I don't read well.
Oh,
It's like so hard to get the words out, or my brain's moving quicker than I'm reading, and I change the words around, or
that is my exact situation. To read better, I need to read the word.
right.
Otherwise, I'm thinking about what I'm reading, and then I'm ahead of myself, and I'm
Right.
screwing up what I'm reading.
You got to take your time,
Yeah.
pronounce each word.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It really helps if you compose it and then you read it.
Ah,
That really helps. It makes it easy because you know what you wrote.
Yeah. Super Dave, I a little bit off the subject, but you're so right. But Dad's eulogy, when he passed, I wrote it. I took lines out, I rewrote it, but I spent a day reading it basically all day long, several times. And for any speech you do, but because I wrote it, Super Dave, and all the family gave me their stories. So I needed to know their story well, and I had to change it a little bit so it felt like me telling their story. But you're so right. When it's you, you can say it better, And then back to, me and Dave have written so many things and put notes on. Sometimes you just speak from the heart, and it rolls. It comes out. Sometimes it's just better.
absolutely.
I think we need a teleprompter.
You know what Erica brought up and Holly mentioned, do we need any more TVs? And I told Holly, I'm like, there's one in the scale house. There was one here. There was one here. There was one here. And I'm surprised how many TVs we have. We need to kind of look where they go and figure out what's up. And Erica brought up, then, Holly talked about the TVs, and then Erica brought up, and Jan, this would be just more work for you, but that our whole outline was on a TV in here as we're going through it. So we don't have to look at these. It's just the next thing on the TV, which is like a teleprompter, Dave.
Yeah.
We're all on the same page instead of trying to read our own notes.
Yeah, I don't know if we need more TVs, Jim, but we probably need more mounts.
Yeah.
Right? Because, there's 2 places to mount TVs in the training center, and there is one mount that, I don't know, somebody found it in the old building, but we need another mount over there.
Yeah. Like everything, Dave, there's some really nice new mounts out.
Yeah.
And what we think, the way we set up the rooms, we want to do a flush mount, no swing arms, no tilt, no nothing, just a flush mount, because we should be able to mount the TVs all flush and at a certain level, so they look really nice.
Mhm.
We just got to, I hadn't even noticed it. I just know in the scale house here, that's a huge TV. And I'm not sure where we got that or if it was donated, but
I mean, I recall we needed a TV over here for safety meetings and stuff like that.
We got it.
We got it. Yeah.
It's a nice size TV.
Nice. Soup, you want to read what you wrote?
I can
and
do
hit
that.
us with that High Road Holland.
Yep. So I do want one more thing. Chris Beam sent it over to me, and we're already past that segment, but he would like to point out that when you're leaving the Knicks pit, you don't have to get on Highway 66 right away. He's seen a lot of trucks jump right out in front of a car or cars that are doing 60 miles an hour instead of letting them go by and waiting for a large opening in traffic.
Right.
And I think that's true of any intersection. I mean, you're starting, you're loaded, you're a snail, and these cars are buzzing down the road at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's an acceleration
You have
lane.
to be aware of the other vehicle's speeds, even when you're changing lanes, and be aware, like, gee, that dude's hauling ass. I better wait, right?
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, good point, Chris. Thank you.
I mean, that's the reason we we eliminated the left-hand turn. So you're not crossing two lanes.
Right.
With people coming at you. You know, if they're running 65, they're running 70 or 75.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this week's High Road Holland really chimes in with what we've pointed out a couple of different times, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, or get comfortable being uncomfortable. But the title of this week is Why Doing the Hard Things Really Matters. Many people often take the easy way out, of everything. They take shortcuts in life, and oftentimes they end up living a life that is less fulfilling. A new idea, probably the best idea, is to do the hard things in life instead. And maybe that's telling the truth sometimes, right? A little bit harder, right? This means making decisions to do things that other people aren't willing to do, or the things you have always avoided. Then when they meet their first struggle, they quit thinking, well, that must not be my real passion. I got to keep looking. Well, we must be able to push through these difficult moments and do the things we don't want to do. That's when we grow. There's nothing more fulfilling in life than growth. And you usually don't realize your growth except in hindsight. This requires you to leave your comfort zone. It can be life-changing choices or risks that you take, like changing jobs or moving to a new place to follow a goal or dream. Other times, it's a simple thing like trying a new restaurant, serving food from a different culture, or trying to change a bad habit. Almost every mountain has its tourist's path or dog's route to the summit. Dog's route being the hard route, but the easy route and the hard route can be totally relative. For someone who's never ventured out beyond their driveway, the tourist route would be their hard route. For example, you could fly across the country and see how big the United States is, or you could drive across the country and get a better sense of the varied topography, people, and towns. Or what about walking across the country? How different of a perspective that would give you. In the mountains, as in life, we get so much more out of pushing ourselves. Maybe the hard route is giving up smoking or getting off the couch and training for a 5K run. The start of the hard route could be something as simple as embracing the cold shower challenge for 30 days. The important thing is the challenge to promote personal growth. Anything large or small, you might not even be able to do it, but you can try. If you plan to climb a mountain, you have many tasks to complete. You have to plan transportation, the equipment needed, food supplies, medical support. You have to develop all the necessary communication and relationships with the people that will complete your support network. Then 2/3 of the way to the summit, some members of the team get altitude sickness, and with everyone's safety in mind, you have to turn back. With all the successes your team had up to that point, was it really a failure? Or through personal fitness and growth, it was a success. So stop right now and take a look at the choices you have in front of you and in life, and start by doing something hard today. And I wanted to pick this High Road Holland because moving is hard. But yeah, we're going to get it done, and we're going to be done with it. And in a month from now, we'll be all settled, and we'll be like, man, what a great deal, right? I really like this quote, and it was from Vince Lombardi. And boy, he knew about working hard. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. So
Nice.
there you have it.
That was great, Dave.
Yes.
That's We're nice.
Make yourself uncomfortable. You'll grow. Right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Hard.
It's growth that makes life special and fulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah. I often think about, I went on walks and, little hikes and stuff like that, but rarely do you think of going back. The thing is to get to your destination, but then to go back is where I sometimes don't think about that. It's going to be, you're going downhill, but it's just as hard on your knees or your hips or, all that kind of stuff. Or
it's harder.
Or did you, hey, I'm going to get to point B, but did I bring water?
Yeah.
Or did enough to get back? And then, parts of the way back, that's when you really get tired because you're almost home, but you've done the whole hike. Yeah, it's like anything. What's the what if and how does it end?
Yeah. When I was in high school, I went on a big time field trip. We went up to Mount Washington in New Hampshire, which is the highest peak east of the Mississippi. And it's, by our standards, it's nothing. I think it's like 6,700 feet, but it's above tree line in New Hampshire. And it's a long freaking hike. And not to mention, it was like a 6 or 8 hour drive. And we camped out and the weather turned on us right at tree line. And there was maybe 200, 300 yards more, maybe another 1,000 feet to climb. And all the teachers that were our mentors or our, guardians or whatever you want to call it, they turned us all around and we were pissed. We didn't make it, right? But in the end, did we have a great camping trip? Did we enjoy our friendships and the things we learned and all of that? Of course.
Yeah.
But to this day, I never made it to the top, which is a bummer, but
Yeah, I mentioned that. I think it ended up being in Scotland, Dave, because I'm never at sea level hardly. And the one hill or one little mountain that they had that was fairly big, it was, I think, 500 feet, Dave. And you're like, so? But it was pretty big from sea level, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know tree line changed, Dave.
Depends on your latitude. So if you're down at the equator, tree line is probably, 20,000 feet.
Wow.
But the farther north you go, the lower it gets.
It stopped in Scotland, Dave. And I don't know what elevation, but it seemed like it was maybe 1,000 feet where tree line stopped, Dave, on a couple of spots.
Yeah, Scotland's way north. I mean, it's, as the world is, you're the same latitude as middle of Canada.
Canada is exactly,
wow.
Dave. Yeah, we were the same as Canada. That's the reason for how long the daylight was on that.
Exactly.
I mean, it makes perfect sense when you think about it. I just never thought about it. I'm like, tree line in Colorado, and you what'd you say, 5,800 feet?
Tree line on Mount Washington's probably right around 6.
Yeah, I mean
I skied
clearly nothing.
Sugarloaf Mountain in Maine, which is farther north, and that's only like 5,500 feet or 5,200 feet.
Wow.
The whole top of the mountain's above tree line.
Yeah.
But it has to do more with harsh climate.
Sure.
The farther northern latitudes have a harsher climate.
Yeah.
And so the trees can't live in that environment.
Yeah.
The tree line out here is like 11,000.
It is, yes.
Yeah, I mean, Jam, we ride a trail up at Taylor Reservoir called Tree Line because you're at Tree Line, and it's a chore. I mean, you talk about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. You are freaking uncomfortable, and you're just in and out of the tree line there. But I mean, it's incredible.
Wow,
it is definitely God's planet when you're up there.
Nice,
it's crazy.
Any other final thoughts, guys?
No, just be safe, be patient, and situational awareness. That would be my 3.
Nice. Well, uncomfortable being in this room because it's so hot.
It is.
So let's say the creed and get on out.
Together
we face and overcome
all that stands before us.
Together
we are accident free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everyone. Good to be back. Good to be safe.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition. any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another